A castle rises from a forested cliff in the Carpathian Mountains. Towers of pale stone catch the last light of the afternoon. Millions of visitors come here every year, believing they are walking into the world of Dracula. The truth is far stranger and far older than any legend. Bran Castle sits 25 kilometers southwest of Brașov, in the heart of Romania. It occupies the Transylvanian side of the historical border with Wallachia, perched above road DN73. This was never a quiet location. For more than a millennium, traders, soldiers, and empires have moved through the mountain pass below. Some accounts suggest a fortification stood here as early as the 11th century, built by the Seculists to hold off Cuman and Pecheneg raiders. What is certain is that in 1211, the Teutonic Order received this land as a gift from Andrew II of Hungary. Their mission: protect the passes against the Cumans. In 1212, the Teutonic Knights built a wooden castle here, called Dietrichstein, named after a commander, Frater Theodoricus, mentioned in that same founding document. The Latin name, Lapis Theodorici, means Dietrich's stone, but the wood did not last. Around 1225, royal troops expelled the order from the Kingdom of Hungary and destroyed the castle entirely. For more than a century, the site lay exposed. Then, on the 19th of November, 1377, Louis I of Hungary granted a privilege to the Saxons of Kronstadt, the city we now call Brașov. They used it to build what we see today, a stone fortress raised almost exclusively for the protection of German colonists in Transylvania. Unlike so many castles of the era, this was never a seat of noble power. It was a shield. The castle proved its purpose quickly. Between 1438 and 1442, it served as a defensive bulwark against the Ottoman Empire. It also became a customs post on the mountain pass between Transylvania and Wallachia, a gateway where trade was taxed and armies were watched. It is believed that Mircea the Elder of Wallachia, who ruled through the late 14th and early 15th centuries, held the castle briefly, during which period the customs point was established. Control of the castle changed hands repeatedly. In 1530, Moise of Wallachia sent an army to seize it, but Secoli soldiers led by the castle lord Denis forced the Wallachian force to retreat. In 1533, after King Vladislas II failed to repay his debts, the city of Brașov reclaimed the fortress. Bran Castle remained militarily relevant right up to the mid-18th century. Here is where the most famous chapter of Bran's legend must be examined carefully. Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, passed several times through the Bran Gorge, but he does not appear to have played any significant role in the history of this fortress. Most historians agree he never lived here. The castle was neither friendly territory for him nor under his rule. It was once believed he was imprisoned here after his capture by the Hungarians in 1462, but historians now conclude he was held in a fortress in Budapest. And what of Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula, the book that gave the castle its international fame? There is no evidence Stoker ever visited Transylvania or knew anything about Bran Castle. The crumbling fictional castle he described bears no resemblance to this fortress. It is largely through American cinema that Vlad III became linked to the Dracula character at all. The connection between Bran Castle and the Dracula legend is, historians note, tourism-driven. The 20th century brought a different kind of transformation. With the 1920 Treaty of Trianon, Hungary lost Transylvania. The Saxons of Kronstadt-Brașov gave the castle to the Romanian royal house. Queen Marie fell in love with it. She ordered an extensive renovation, carried out by Czech architect Karol Zdeněk-Lehmann, and made Bran her favorite retreat, elevating a small medieval fortress into a royal summer residence of genuine grandeur. The castle passed to Queen Marie's daughter, Princess Ileana, who used it as a hospital during World War II. Then, in 1948, the communist regime expelled the royal family and seized the castle. Decades of silence followed. In 2006, ownership was awarded to Archduke Dominic of Austria, a son of Princess Ileana. On the 1st of June 2009, the Habsburgs opened the refurbished castle to the public, the first private museum in Romania. Today, the castle is a museum dedicated to the art and furniture collected by Queen Marie. Visitors explore on their own or by guided tour. A Tunnel of Time offers an immersive journey through the castle's history, with original Romanian music and fragrance created specifically for the experience, and the longest certified lift run in Romania, stretching 31.5 meters. Elsewhere, an exhibition displays over 50 replica medieval torture instruments, among them the Iron Maiden of Nuremberg, the Judas Cradle, and the Inquisitorial Chair. At the foot of the hill, a small open-air museum preserves traditional Romanian peasant life, cottages, barns, and water-driven machinery gathered from the Bran region. The landscape that surrounds the castle remains as dramatic as it was in 1212, when the first soldiers climbed this rock and looked out across the pass. Bran Castle has spent more than 6 centuries as many things: a frontier shield, a customs gate, a royal sanctuary, a communist trophy, and a monster's fictional home. None of those identities fully contains it. The stone that the Saxons raised in 1377 outlasted every empire that tried to claim it. It stands here still, a national monument and landmark in Transylvania, quietly defying the legends that cling to its walls.